It's not what you do every day. It's how you feel about what you do every day that changes the experience of it. It's not just what you do. It's not even why you do it. It's how you feel about it. How do you feel about what you do? They all felt that what they did was critical to healing, and it transformed their experience. And there's this beautiful quote from Wayne Dyer that I loved, where he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I really believe that that's what we're all being called to do right now. When you're feeling stuck, you might not be able to change what's around you. So change how you view it. Change how you look at it. Because all of a sudden, everything starts to change in your favor. Because those individuals may not even be passionate about cleaning, but they found a way to think about it differently. That's why it touches my heart so much, because it's in such a difficult space and environment. And to your point, Mel, what you were just saying, I was talking to one of my team about this, and she was talking to me about how her mum didn't really know what her purpose was. So I asked her, what's her passion? And she said her favorite thing is to organize family trips. And so now her mum has started organizing family trips for not only her family, but the friends of her family and couples. And so she's a retired mom at this point in her life, but she loves planning trips. She lives vicariously through all of her kids and their friends and grandkids and whoever else it is. And that's what she does now. That's a purpose. Your purpose doesn't need to be this big thing that you have to go and change 1 million people's lives or 1 billion people's lives. If you can do that, that's beautiful. But that's not what a purpose is. A purpose is not defined by scale. It's not defined by the amount of people you reach. It's not defined by doing something big. Your purpose doesn't have to be your job. It doesn't have to be something you dream of doing every day. Your purpose is simply using your passion in the service of others, in the smallest of ways, in the simplest of ways. And it brings you so much joy. And by the way, it also gives you validation for something beautiful that you do. We all want validation. We all seek it. And I want to just normalize that, because I think people feel bad for wanting it. But we all need to feel wanted and needed and loved. It's part of being human. But the problem is when you become someone you don't want to be, or do something you don't want to do to get validation. Whereas when you get validated for using your passion in the service of others, there's no greater feeling than that. See how your purpose doesn't have to be your job. Your purpose doesn't have to be big. Your purpose doesn't have to get you followers. Your purpose doesn't need to have social media. It doesn't need to have any of those things. And actually, if you start without all of those things, you'll build more confidence, more self-worth, and more joy that then if you want to do any of those things, they'll happen naturally. They'll come as a byproduct of that infectious energy you feel and that I've seen Radhi feel. Not to find this big, bright light of energy from something. It's this small, tiny voice. It's been ignored for so long that the way it shows up within us isn't always this big, loud scream. It's this quiet little whisper that just says, try this, give it a go. It's not this big calling. I think we think about callings and what we want to do is this big, bright light of information and a sign. Signs are small. They're whispers, they're quiet. And I think if we just lean into that, it may just be the little voice in your head that says, you love organizing birthdays. Why don't you just organize a couple more birthday parties this year? Oh, you're really good at event planning. Why don't you help your friend with their wedding? Oh, you know what? You're really, really good at writing. Why don't you just write a quote every day? Right? It's that little voice. So just follow the whisper. I promise you, and I really mean this, and I want everyone to really internalize this as I say it. You are already successful at something. It's just so easy to you that you don't think of it as success. There's something that comes effortlessly to you. Maybe you graduated college with flying colors. Maybe you take care of your kids in the best way possible. Maybe you're just incredible at showing up for your work colleagues. You already are extremely, incredibly successful at something, but because it's easy for you and natural for you, you don't think it's a skill. So look back at your life and look back at all the things that you've done beautifully. You showed up for your friends at college. You helped your colleagues through a tough time. You've already been doing that. You just don't know what that looks like because you think that's what a good person does. And it is what a good person does. But on top of that, it is value that you've been adding all along the way. Look at the clues, look at the footprints, look at the steps behind, and don't take them for granted. Most likely, the things that you don't value because they're simple to you, are the things that the world is looking for. Radhi's cooking skill is something that comes really naturally to her. She's worked on it, but it's natural. She didn't value it. She didn't realize what a superpower it was. Here's my number one piece of advice. Pick 3 people from your past. It could be a work colleague, a family member, and a friend. These are people that know you deeply, that you would say know me really, really well. Don't go and do this with anyone else. Do this with people that know you really well. And just ask them, what's something that I do that you always think of me when you're struggling with something? Ask them, what's something that I've done in the past for you or for anyone around us that made you go, wow, that's really cool. That's amazing. And then sit down and ask them, when you're struggling with something, what do I help you do? What do I help you solve? All of a sudden, you get all this input from the people that know you the best because they see in you what you don't see in yourself. We have to remember that. The people that know you and the people that love you, they see in you what you don't see in yourself. What you undervalue is what they deeply value. What you take for granted is what they see as greatness. What you kind of think is normal and average, they adore about you. But you've got to let them tell you that. You've got to let them remind you of that, because otherwise you'll keep devaluing yourself.
You unpack that?
Yeah, it actually perfectly fits with what you just said. So weak people notice other people's mistakes and laugh. Strong people notice other people's mistakes and learn. Weak people talk about other people's problems to feel better. Strong people talk about other people's problems to become better. Weak people gossip about others to build fake connections. Strong people express vulnerability to build real ones. And this one's the kicker that you were just talking about. Weak people envy people ahead of them. Strong people study people ahead of them. And the interesting thing is, both people are looking at the same thing, but they're seeing different things. Because no one is a weak or strong person. It's just what you focus on. And that's what I want people to realize. There's a switch. The switch for envy is study. If you're jealous of someone, if you're envious of someone, study them. And I know we've had so many conversations where we both taught each other so much stuff. You've always been so kind to share so many insights and lessons. I know I've done the same with you. That's what we do. We study each other. And all of a sudden, that envy turns into appreciation, admiration, just complete awe, because you're like, now I know what it takes, right? I remember when I used to see Cristiano Ronaldo, who I'm a huge fan of, and I've been a fan of him ever since he was 17 years old. And so I must have been like 14 or something like that when I started following him. This is 20 years ago now you're talking about, more than that. And you look at him and you think, oh my God, like look how he looks, look how he plays, everything else. The moment you start studying his routine, you realize what it actually takes. Someone can sit there and envy and be jealous of his life, which is natural, by the way. And I don't want to make that seem like a bad thing, but you turn jealousy into study. You turn envy into study, and all of a sudden, it's your best friend. Envy can be your best friend if you just replace it for study.